Well, I was motivated because I was unjustly fired from my position at my government contracting organization after I expressed my opinion to the presidential motorcade, and I decided to get active in the Democratic Party and help other campaigns. And I was initially asked to run when my story broke by our chairwoman Phyllis Randall, but I wasn't sure. So I got really active in the Democratic Party, and I worked at the polls, and I worked for Jennifer Wexton's campaign a lot, and then I decided kind of in the summer of 2018 that I would run for the seat. I think it just kick-started my activism in a way. I think I was in shock after Trump was elected president, and I have severe disagreements with his agenda, and I wasn't quite sure what to do about it. But then after I was unjustly fired from my position, it all kind of came into focus. And that photograph, of course, is the reason I got fired. So, so it all kind of came into focus. Like before that, I was thinking, you know, I do have some free time. Like, you know, what can I do? I just hadn't really figured it out yet. You know, besides tweeting and posting, right? Because that really doesn't accomplish very much in the end. After that, it just became more apparent to me like what I could do. So joining the Loudoun County Democrats and working the polls and volunteering for campaigns gave me an education as to what it takes to run, and then I decided to run. The Board of Supervisors, as you probably now know, has flipped the majority, so we now have a 6-3 Democratic majority. So I think a lot of changes are going to be made across the county because of the values that the new board holds versus the values that the old board held. Some of our main goals are to adequately fund our schools. We have a comprehensive plan that was just passed this year, and our first thing that we need to do when we get on the board is actually come up with a strategy for our unmet housing needs in the county. So that means affordable housing and workforce housing, and that's going to be one of our biggest efforts when we get on the board. For me personally, I want to make sure that we support women. 70% of the women in our district are actually part of the labor force. So I have a strong belief that they deserve equal pay for equal work. We should work on making sure they have affordable child care. And you know, as a single mom, I face those issues on a regular basis. My kids are a little older now, but when they were younger, it was really a struggle. And I also think that women deserve access to health care. The environment is very important to me, and there's a couple things that I would like to do, and one of those is review our energy plan in the county. We haven't looked at our energy plan in 10 years, so I think that's really important for us to do so that we can make sure that we are working on having a good percentage of our power provided by renewables in the county. And also we can sign on to the Chesapeake Bay Area Act, which this previous boards refused to do. But we do have, as you probably know, the Potomac River that runs north, it's like the northern border for our county. And the Potomac River is a big deal for the Chesapeake Bay, and I think we should immediately sign on to that. And lastly, guns. I'm a member of Moms Demand Action, and I have to say that the day that this school was actually on lockdown because there was a threat, my daughter was texting my son at Seneca Ridge last year when that happened, and I just thought to myself, wow, that's not her responsibility. It's not her responsibility to be checking on her younger brother. And then I also realized that both my kids are going to be in this school this year, and I run the risk of losing both kids in one day if we have a tragedy in Loudoun County. So I'd like to work on those issues. We have some shooting ranges out on the western side of the county that we need to work on, making sure that we make the line farther away from buildings and schools and churches where people can set up their homemade gun ranges. The budget's going to come up very quickly, and that is where we decide the county tax rate and how much we're going to fund the school budget that comes in front of us. That's going to happen very, very quickly in 2020. It's usually passed, I believe, in April. So we'll be working closely with the school board on that. And like I said, the unmet housing needs strategy is our very first step in the county comprehensive plan that we're going to be working on. We have teachers, nurses, firefighters, home health care workers, bartenders, restaurant waiters and waitresses who can't afford to live in this county where they work. So we really need to be partnering with developers to make sure that we can build affordable housing, and that folks who want to achieve home ownership can achieve home ownership. Home ownership is, the foundation to generational wealth across America, so I think that's really important. That I would actually like them to know that if they have anything they'd like to talk about, they can reach out to me. I will have an open door policy, and actually we were speaking with Chair Randall the day after the election about perhaps putting more ways that you guys can contact me in the structure of how we work moving forward. So anytime that you guys want to reach out to me, please feel free. I will probably have a website. I have a website now for Briskman for Supervisor, but I'm sure I'll have something more official moving forward. So and I want students to know that that they will be heard, absolutely, and your concerns are important to me.